Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Danny, MMA fight fangirl. I'm not even getting my English right today. I'm here with Aussie Fight Fan. Aussie, how are we today?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, all good. Summer's kicking in over here, so
Yeah,
nice warm one
exactly.
today.
It is very warm. It's going to be quite warm for the next few days. Very exciting, this card coming from Macau. So for us Australians, for a change, we get to actually watch the card at 7 p.m. on a Saturday evening. So I'm pretty pumped about that. How about you?
Yeah, definitely. It's gonna be good. I could get used to it. I reckon these late
I know.
late starts. That's what America normally gets it right. Saturday evening. Yeah,
Saturday evenings.
yeah. I could get
Yeah,
used
they
to
do.
it.
Oh, for sure. And I think our poor US friends will be, I think it's going down live for them around about 3 a.m., which is going to be a bit of a change.
Yeah, it
Excellent.
might be a,
Well,
a bunch of people skipping this card in
I
America.
think that there might be. And look, it's some decent marketing, I think, on the UFC's parts. We've got 3 tournament championship bouts going down on this card, concluding road to UFC. So ideally, they would be going after a certain type of audience. And hopefully, it launches, a bit of a platform for some of those athletes that are coming into the UFC. Alrighty,
Yeah, for
let's talk
sure.
about the main event. I'm really, really pumped for this. I really love both these guys, but I do have a little bit of more of a bias. We got Peter Yan taking on Davison Figueiredo. Ozzy, are you pumped for this one? Do you think it's going to be really competitive?
I think it's going to be a little bit more competitive than the betting line suggests. Uh, Figgy, he's a former champion. He's a really good fighter. He's still got it, even at 36 years old. He still looks like he's there. But he's pushing 37 at these lower weight classes. These older guys. It's not like heavyweight where the older guys can stick around. So yeah, I mean, this is his last run for sure. A little hiccup here, and that might be it for Figueiredo. But as far as the fight goes, I mean, yeah, you can get him at some really good odds at the moment. It's kind of I'm really thinking about it. It's kind of almost forcing my hand. I haven't bet him yet, but one prop that did pop out today, we've only really got props for the main fight so far, was Figgy sub at, you can get it at plus 1,500, and
Oof,
sub
okay.
one or sub two. His four of his last 8 wins have been by sub in round one or two.
Mm,
Yeah, so to get them at like 50 to 1 is kind of crazy. And Figgy, people don't think of him much as a jiu-jitsu guy. I mean, everyone knows he's got the skills, but he's
mm,
had 22 submission attempts in his last 17 fights. I mean, that's a guy that does go for it. He is opportunistic, and I'm not saying he's just a jiu-jitsu wizard to go out there and pass guard like it's hot knife through
mm.
butter or anything. But he's very opportunistic. If Jan is
Yeah,
shooting for takedowns, which he's shot for over 20 takedowns in his last 3 fights, so I assume Jan's going to shoot, and Figueiredo's got a really good guillotine. Why not just play at that stupid crazy odds of 50 to 1 for the round one sub or round two sub? Yeah, I'll take a little bit of that for sure.
absolutely. And I love that you said that because I was actually
As far
leading
as the
that
actual
side.
fight, I do think that yeah, I mean the sub prop is really nice. But Jan is a really good fighter too. I mean, he's lost some controversial fights for
Yeah.
starters. You know, say what you want about the Sean O'Malley fight. I thought he won that fight. I had a decent bet on him there as well. Marab, what can you say about that? Marab shot 50
Mhm.
takedowns in that fight. It's
Insane.
hard to beat a
Yep.
guy who's doing that. And the second split decision against Aljo. So,
Yeah.
you can kind of make excuses for all his losses there.
Yeah, 100%. I think this will be very competitive. I certainly hope that it will be. It'd be nice to see Jan kind of get that win, do it in dominant fashion, because it really catapults him back into title contention, I would think. But on the flip side, I love, excuse me, absolutely love Figgy. And I think his run in this new division has been incredible, right? So it's the same thing for him. Like if he gets through this, puts on a really decent performance, I do expect he's certainly going to be in that title conversation as well. I love that you had called out that prop because I was already starting to eye that off. I certainly thought both of them definitely will be shooting some takedowns. It's going to be some really crispy striking, but I can see Figueiredo. He's tricky. He's got great grappling transitions, and I think it's an absolute possibility. I'm going to lean Figueiredo on this just based on the momentum and the drive because, as you pointed out as well, this is probably going to be that last shot to keep him in the upper echelons of that division. Very exciting fight for sure.
Yeah. Even his money line, I think, is worth a shot. This fight probably does go the distance. And if it does, I'd rather be holding the plus money on Figueiredo than that minus 300 or whatever it is now on Yan. So, yeah, I've got to
Well, that's really interesting. So, if we remember for the pay-per-view last week, Dana made the decision to go back to the old gloves. So the old gloves are the new gloves. However, I think I had read something somewhere. They're only going to be using the old gloves back for the pay-per-views, and the fight nights are going to be using the new gloves. So they'll be different from the ones last week. And that's so they can build up a bit of a data set around, is there any truth to slowing down KOs and whatnot. So if that is the case, and there is truth that those gloves have impacted striking performance and power, 100% this is going the distance.
Yeah, it's very likely to go the distance. If it does, yeah, hopefully it's a great fight anyway for those guys over there.
Absolutely. All right, let's move on to the
quick shout out to our friend George, Narrative Nation. He's going to be there.
Amazing. I hope you enjoy, George.
So I think there's a bit of a delay between you and me. We're kind of talking over each other.
I think there is a tiny bit of a delay. Yes. All good. All right, let's move on to the next fight of the evening.
We're talking over each other.
We are, yes. That is quite an interesting little delay. All right, let's move on to the co-main Aussies. So we have Chow Yan, also the other Yan. She's taking on Tabitha Ritchie. When I was on X earlier today, I'd seen there's a few people out there playing the double Yan parlay, which I thought was a interesting little way to go. How do you see this fight playing out?
Yeah, I mean, we can see here. I mean, Yan has got a 4-inch height advantage, a little bit of a reach advantage, but the big thing sticking out to me here is Yan is also very strong. Reach is really normally the much stronger girl in there, even if she does give up a bit of size and height and reach. Yan minus 200, I don't really love that. I think Ricci's game plan here is going to be to get takedowns, and if she does, I don't know. I got a feeling Yan might be able to get up here. I think she can get up and maybe get something going on the feet. Like she's going to be the hometown favorite. Everything she lands, everyone's going to be screaming. One punch from Yan is going to be like 2 from Ricci. Ricci's really got to get this fight to the ground, or she's definitely going to lose this fight on the scorecards, I think. So, yeah, it's kind of hard at these odds to kind of make a bet on Ricci. I mean, plus 170, I don't hate it. If it was anywhere else, if this was Vegas or something like that, I mean, yeah, I'd play that. But it just depends on how much, we're probably going to know early in the card how the judges are going. If they're looking really biased early in the card, then maybe just wait and stay away from this fight. But yeah, I am leaning towards Yan. I do think that maybe either girl to win by submission at plus 850 is pretty good. I've seen that line out there. I might play a little bit of that. Just Ricci's going to go for these takedowns, whether she can get something going. We've seen that Yan really, she got arm triangle choked unconscious against Weili Zhang, and then Keith Peterson kind of woke her up and sent her back to her corner, which was very strange. I had some Weili sub in that one. That would have been a great night if that hit. But yeah, I kind of lean towards Yan. She really impressed me against Weili, even though she lost the fight. She rocked her a couple of times and looked pretty good standing. So I'll take some fight ends in sub, but it's only going to be a small bet just to keep it interesting.
Yeah, I think it's really, really good assessment. I too am probably leaning Yan a little bit on this. Like if you look through her most recent records, she's got a KO over Jessica Andrade, right? Which means that she can take those power shots. And I think if you're to kind of compare striking power from Andrade versus Ricci, and if Yan can do that, I think she might have an edge there. She's got a decision, majority win, as we can see on the screen there, over Mackenzie Dern, who is an incredible jiu-jitsu practitioner. So that would also tell me that she has the ability to probably, if not stuff the takedowns, she's going to be able to reverse some of the positions. So I think might be a hard night in the office for Ricci, if I'm honest. So I'd probably favor Yan. Not too sure how I'll go on props or if I hit a money line, but that's probably definitely where I'm looking at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of the same. I mean, that Richie is a big step. Another tough opponent coming off a fight with the champion. This isn't a layup by any means. So they've given her another tough girl. They believe in Yan. I think they expect her to get a win over a decent fighter here and get her back into that title talk.
Absolutely. All right, let's move on to the next fight in the welterweight division. So we've got Kenan Song, and he's taking on Muslim Salikov. How do you see this one going?
Yeah, this fight's crazy. I mean, I thought Salikov was, going to retire last fight. He got that split decision win over Ponzinibbio. I know a bunch of people were betting Salikov live in that fight because it seemed like it was pretty close, but he got to plus 2,000 between rounds during the third round, and a bunch of people jumped on it, and he won the split decision. So I thought he lost the fight, but I mean, in a fight that's that close, and someone's plus 2,000, you got to play that. Unfortunately, I didn't play it, but I know Narco and his crew all jumped on it, so they made a killing that night. But here going, he's getting knocked out against Randy Brown, decisioned against Dolby. He's 40 years old now. He's really he's definitely a finished product, but this guy's been getting spin kicked in the head for 20 odd years. His day is definitely up. And I don't know. I just got a feeling that this is it. He might get knocked out here, and this is not going to be a great loss on his record. Losing to Kenan Song here, but he is the hometown guy. I know Muslim Salikov's pretty famous over there in China as well, but he's not going to be the crowd favorite in this one, I wouldn't think. So, yeah, I like Kenan Song, man, at this price, plus money against the 40-year-old. I know Song is not a world beater by any means, but he's got a lot of losses on his record as well. And real late in the fight, I think it's the only guy Gary's finished. From what I can remember. So, yeah, I mean, two guys that really, one guy was good but isn't anymore, and one guy that never was really great at all. So, yeah, I'm just kind of leaning Kenan Song at these odds. Probably not gonna bet it. Maybe I'll check out his KO round one prop or something like that. But it might just be a pass here. Might be the last time we get a chance to fade Salikov here because he might retire after this. But it's probably going to be a pass for me.
Yeah, it's a bit of an interesting one. And again, I'm agreeing with you 100% on that. I was definitely, when I first looked at this fight, leaning Song a little bit, and that is mostly Muslim's age, recent performance, and for no other reason than that. I'm not sure if I'm going to get on this one. Part of me makes me think that both of them are going to come like bulls rushing out the gate, and it's going to be a quick finish. Or it's just going to drag on, and it's just going to be a long, drawn-out 3 rounds on the feet with a little bit of clinch, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Probably edge Song, hometown boy, a little bit more edge, more to kind of prove. But, yeah, not too sure if I'll play that one as well. All right, let's move to the next fight. So we're back in the female division, so that's in flyweight. We've got Corey Wang taking on Gabriela Fernandez. Kong Wang, so absolute perfect record, 6-0. Very exciting debut. Not debut, but very early in her career, good contender. What do you think, Aussie?
Yeah, I mean, Wang is she's definitely the pick, but I'm not racing out to pay. I think she's minus 1,000 now to win this 100 in some places. If someone's going to bet that, I mean, I can't blame you. I can't blame you. I wouldn't go putting too much on it because she's going to lose this fight. But it's just sometimes the odds make the bets for you, and it's kind of crazy. But Fernandez, I was watching some of her fights, and she's really not very good. Even if she gets taken down and you pass the half guard, she's not getting you back to guard. You pass to side control, she's not getting you to half guard, and then you crucifix her or you mount her. She never improves her position when she's on her back. It's very frustrating to watch. And I think Wang, she's a very good kickboxer. She's had some pro boxing fights. She's got knockout power, and if she doesn't knock you out, she hurts you, and then she's going to go for the finish. So there's not a lot to dislike about her here. I think she's probably going to get this fight done. She's going to run away with it, and I'm probably going to be looking at something for her to win inside the distance. I think she can probably the submission. You'd hate to play either prop and miss out on the other. So, yeah, I might just have some inside the distance here and hope she can get a finish. I mean, that's what the crowd's going to want. That's what the UFC wants. You know, they're sending this Brazilian girl over to China to fight the Joker here, and I think she's going to get it done. I think she's going to finish this girl. So, fingers crossed she covers her minus 1,000 money line and gets an early finish here.
Absolutely. Is there any odds out on a Joker KO?
Yeah, it's not great. I think it was plus 350. I think it's pretty even with the sub. I think the sub was about 350 as well. So, 100%. Yeah, I'm assuming, you know, even the inside the distance is probably only 200. But, I mean, if you can turn a minus 1,000 into a plus 200, I mean, it's never a bad idea. Absolutely.
Again, I am 100% on the same side as you on that one. So I do think Wang is absolutely the way to go here. I'm not too sure how I'll play that. It's probably going to be a round 1 or round 2 KO. I think that's the only way I'd probably be tempted to play that one, just given where the odds are stacking. But certainly expecting a very impressive performance. It's only really going to get her name out known amongst the masses. Okie dokie. So we're going to the light heavyweight division next for the ladies fight fan bout of the evening. So we have Black Jag Carlos Ulberg taking on Volkan Ozdemir. I think this is a bit more competitive maybe than what people think. I'm seeing some things that people just think Ulberg's going to walk through him. That might be the case, but Volkan looked pretty good in his last fight. It looked like, you know, flashes of the old Ozdemir was back. So what do you think?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I hope Ulberg wins. You know, he's the new guy down there we've got from Australia or / New Zealand. One of our Anzacs out there doing it in the UFC. So hopefully he gets it done here. Hopefully Ozdemir is kind of on the back end of his time in the UFC. 35 years old. They're similar age. Well, I didn't know Ulberg was 30, pushing 35. He's got to get moving. I mean, this is a step in the right division. You know, he's fighting the number 9th ranked guy. A guy who's already been in there with the top of the top. So, yeah, hopefully Ulberg gets it done, but I just don't like this price. Minus 300 on Ulberg. I mean, I just don't see it against a true guy like Volkan. Maybe he can come out and just get him out of there in round 1. I mean, that's really what you want from the minus 300 favorite. You don't want to see the judges. So maybe Ulberg can come out and get it done. I'm just worried Volkan's going to fight smart. He's probably going to go for takedowns in this fight. He did it against, what was his name? Bogdan. He got the submission there. Managed to get it done, but he did get kind of hurt a little bit on the feet before his common sense kicked in and he took him down. Obviously, the Johnny Walker KO round 1 after that. So, yeah, he's looking a lot better. He defended all of Paul Craig's takedowns when he fought him. That was a terrible fight to watch. I wouldn't recommend anyone go back and watch that one. So I don't know, man. I just think there's some value here on Volkan. His decision prop is plus 500. I can see him wrestling his way to a decision here on the judges' scorecards, but his submission prop plus 1,600. Like I said, we just seen him do it against Bogdan. Ulberg, you know, I know that they're all training a lot over there. They're doing the right things at City Kickboxing, but I mean, how many hours has Ulberg spent on the mat? This is a kickboxer turned MMA fighter. You know, we've seen it with some of these guys in the past. When they get taken down, they're a fish out of water, and we haven't really seen anyone just kind of wrestle Ulberg down and have their way with him. And I'm expecting that at least some of Volkan's training has been towards getting this takedown and trying to be the aggressor on the mat. So, yeah, I might try both of those lines, man. But plus 1,700 for Saba. Oh, we just seen him get it in his fight before his last win. Yeah, I'm going to take a little bit of that, man, and kind of leaning towards that. Even though I hope Ulberg wins, if he loses, hopefully it's by sub.
Again, I'm absolutely loving what you're throwing down there. So I declare my Aussie New Zealand bias. I'd love to see Ulberg get it done, but when I look at some of those odds and those stats, it's too juicy not to look at Volkan. when I go back through Vulcan's record, he's got 12 TKOs in the first round. He's got 2 subs on his record, both in the first round. That is making me think, is there a first or second round finish? And whether it comes on either which way, I'm going to have a look at how I can structure some of those odds. I don't think this does go the distance. I hope it does not go the distance, because it's going to be very exciting. And I think there's absolute value on Vulcan or Jag to get that done in round 1 or round 2.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So the first fight on the main card we're going to is Ozzy Diaz, and he's taking on Mingyang Zhang, also in the light heavyweight division. How do you see this one playing out?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a banger. I mean, these guys are going to come out, they're going to throw down, and someone's getting knocked out. And I think the Mountain Tiger is probably going to get it done over Ozzy here. I mean, he's minus 300. I don't really like that line. A guy who really only wins in the first round. If we have a look at his record here, 11 KOs in round 1 and 6 subs in round 1. He hasn't won a fight that's gone past 5 minutes. So I don't see why we would be leaving any money on the table with this guy. You might as well take his round 1 prop. I haven't got it here yet. They haven't kind of dropped yet on all our books. But, I mean, that's the way to play this fight. I mean, you play him round 1 KO or under 1.5 rounds, something like that. Someone's going to crack the other one. I don't care. I mean, even if Ozzy Diaz, I see some people out here betting this guy. He's not without a chance. He's really not. He's not without a chance. Let's just check. You know, he's got some KOs on his record and a submission or 2. So the fight. So he's never gone the distance. I mean, this fight just screams of finish here and something from the Mountain Tiger here, and hopefully he gets it done in round 1, because if the odds are anywhere decent, I'm going to have a stab at that. He's mine. I mean, really, his round 1 shouldn't be far off that. You know, he's won all of his fights in round 1, but we're going to probably get plus 100, plus 200, something like that. I wouldn't play it at plus 100, plus 200, maybe something like that. Yeah, worth a stab for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And I've got to be honest, I haven't gone too far into this one, but just again, flicking through those stats, just talking to you, definitely looks like the under could be the play here. And I'd probably be just looking at fight ends in round 1 or round 2. Given most of them are all round 1s, there's always that chance that they get to that 5-minute bell, and then it's boom in the first 10 to 20 seconds of round 2. So it's kind of where I'm leaning on that one.
Yeah,
good stuff. Right. So we weren't going to cover too many of the prelims because this is a rapid fire breakdown today. But Ozzy, is there any other fights on the prelims that you wanted to give a bit of a shout out, or any insight on something that may excite you?
Yeah. So this third fight of the night, Kavanagh versus Ocha here. This is going to be a really good fight. Kavanagh's almost like minus 400 now, and I just think the line is way off. I think this Jose Ochoa guy, he's definitely got his chance here to get something done. Kavanagh, he looked really great in his last fight. He got that insane knockout, did the backflip, Captain America landing, looked awesome. But, I mean, he's going against another up-and-coming guy here, and I think the UFC's made this fight to decide who they're going to push forward, I think. I think whoever wins this is going to get a decent push forward. This kid, he's had a lot of fights in the LFA. He's got some finishes. He's a very exciting fighter in his own right. And, as we scroll through, you can see, he's had some very low-level competition, some guys 1-0, 2-0. He's fought some pretty low-level guys and inexperienced guys. But, you're in the UFC now. It's time to get going. And yeah, I mean, Kavanagh, he can crack, man. He's got firepower in both hands. He's a rightful favorite in my opinion, but as I had show here, I'm probably going to get to him. I haven't played it yet, but if I'm looking, this is going to be a really good fight, and I don't know. I think his chances are better than his money line. I'll say that. So that's definitely a fight to look out for.
Yeah, definitely. No, I haven't gone through too much of the prelims just yet. Still a bit early in the week for me, but I'll definitely take a look at that one. It does sound like that's going to be quite exciting. And I think what I found really interesting from last week's card is there were like 2 or 3 underdogs at almost plus 1,000. It was insane. The performances that they put on based on the odds that they showed up suggest to me that even despite some of these odds, we may see some very close performances. Now, it could be right. That could have been an absolute anomaly. But I tell you, I'll be looking closer at some of the underdogs this time around and just working out where I'm absolutely going to splash some cash. Should be fun. Excellent. All right. Any other best bets or props you want to shout
that's
out?
a really good point you make. Sorry, mate. Yeah, this delay is killing us. That was a really good point you made about last week. A lot of these favourites, they're winning, but they're just not covering their money line. You know, we're betting on these underdogs and we're finding value in them, and they're good bets, but they're not paying off. You know, a lot of people were parlaying the 3 minus 900 or minus 1,000s last week, and you know, they will feel pretty good because they won their bets. I mean, they were all bad bets. Really, all 3 of them were bad bets. They were all a lot closer than their money line suggested. If you're a minus 1,000, you should be, you know, terrified you're going to get finished in that first round. You know, if you're holding the ticket for the other side, you should be expecting to lose that bet. There was some definite value, and those guys fought way better than their price tag. So, but that just seems to be the problem lately. We're kind of getting a lot of value on these underdogs, and they're just not cashing. They're not getting over the line, even though there's value. So even when the books are wrong, you know, we're still not getting paid off. So yeah, just tread carefully when you're betting these big favorites, because one day, you know, the judges are going to start doing their job correctly and not get terrified of the odds and just giving it to the favorites, you know. So fingers crossed that starts happening soon.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's going to be a really, really good card that's coming up. Very excited for the main event. Like, those 2 are fire. It's going to be lots of fun. Even more importantly, it's going to be very interesting, and it's going to be absolutely exciting to actually sit down and watch the UFC on a Saturday evening in Australia, rather than getting up and having coffee and breakfast with the first early prelims in the morning. It's going to be awesome. But yeah, really sad for some of the other fans that are going to have to pull an all-nighter, but I am feeling it.
Yeah, it's always fun pulling those all-nighters anyway. We've done it a lot. It's always a good time staying up and watching the fights.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, we will be hosting a space on X on Australia time Saturday, 2 p.m., which is probably going to be about 7 or 8 p.m. In the US on Friday night. So as always, people feel free to jump in, grab a microphone. I'd love to hear your thoughts. That's it from me, Danny. I'll catch you all soon. Aussie, any final words?
Yeah, thanks again, Danny, hosting the space. Hopefully the technical difficulties weren't too annoying here, and we'll try and iron that out. I'm not sure what's going on. But yeah, good luck to everyone this weekend. Hopefully the fights are great, and we'll speak to you Saturday.
Absolutely. Take it easy.